morning, everyone. Before I get started, I want to say from the Department of Corrections that this is Mary's last victim's rights. Well, I'm sure you'll be involved, but in her position with the DOC. And I want to take a moment to say how much I really appreciate you, Mary, how much the department appreciates you. I started as an intern, and I remember you as an intern, and I was afraid of you. And I still kind of am, a little bit. But I want to tell you that the work you've done over the last couple decades is not going unnoticed. And I think everyone in this room can agree the work you've done has been extremely important. And you always have been an advocate. You always stayed the course. You pressed and pushed back when you had to. And I'm just very, very proud of the work that you've done for this department and what you've represented through the years. So I just want to take a moment to publicly honor you and say thank you for all you've done for this department and for victims.
In 1999, Iowa established the Egan Memorial Award to honor Kay's memory and her dedication to the concerns of crime victims. It was presented annually to an Iowan whose service to crime victims and their interests reflects Kay's dedication. After John's death in 2003, we voted to rename the award to the John and Kay Egan Memorial Award in the spirit of teamwork and dedication to victims of crime. So every year this award is presented in their honor to a person who has performed outstanding services to the victims of in Iowa. Which brings us to Mary. Mary has demonstrated, I'm plagiarizing this shamelessly from her nomination. Mary has demonstrated exceptional dedication and service to the Department of Corrections for more than 2 decades. She shared her own story, not for sympathy, but to help make the victims' voices real. Her willingness to be vulnerable has shaped her career and the work that is being done at the Department of Corrections. She is dynamic, passionate, knowledgeable, creative, curious, full of energy, and I might add fun. She contributes consistently in ways that go far beyond her official duties, notably her continuous leadership program development and critical statewide and national involvement. For years, she has led the Victim Advisory Group, which integrated community voices into Department of Corrections policies. Furthermore, she started and continues to support staff training initiatives. She not only leads the group, but personally provides immediate support during crises. For example, she organized a goodies drive during COVID and coordinated staff relief and professional support services after the tragic murders of Lorena Schulte and Robert McFarland at Atamosa. She continually secures outside help and resources to ensure statewide staff wellness. Mary developed both the victim services and restorative justice programs for the Department of Corrections. While most states have a dedicated victim services unit, Mary's small but mighty unit consists of 2 people. One of whom exists because Mary every year writes the grant to sustain the position. Despite limited resources, the unit manages programming for juvenile lifers, provides essential wraparound services, maintains a victim letter bank, facilitates victim offender mediation, all vital programs she created because she understood their importance. She also managed hundreds of phone calls and visitation appeals, reads policies to ensure the victim's voice remains central. Nationally, she is heavily involved with the National Association of Victims of Crime, where she provides training and expertise. She serves as the critical victim voice on the Iowa Board of Parole and Training Services. She's a member of the Attorney General's Victim Advisory Board, assisting with VINE victim notification issues. She is always responsive, whether it's weekend or a work day. If a victim needs to be notified or a staff person is struggling, we are truly fortunate to have her as part of the Department of Corrections for all the work that extends far beyond that description. She well deserves this award.
Thank you, Carl, and thank you to Sally Kramer, who did that, I think, and I don't know who else, but I really appreciate all that was said. I do want to, because I am seeing this, I'm going to indulge myself a little bit. And when I thought about that this award would be coming, I gave myself a few minutes to think about, this isn't really me. This has always been a we. And so I went back and thought about from the very beginning, and I need to say a few names. This feels like it's going to be like the Academy Awards where you're going, who are these people? But I need to say their names out loud because they are what led to here. So my very dear friend, Britta Pensa, who is not here, she lives in out of state, but she introduced me to victim services. We were in college together. My very first boss, Renee Els, at Crisis Services in Waterloo, and she taught me that we cannot do this work alone as advocates and victim service providers. We have to create an us or we. You have to be the voice for those who aren't able or don't have the access. And that was our mission. And then Laura Sheffert, many of you know Laura. Laura opened the door to corrections to me. Now, please keep in mind, I was a little feminist victim advocate, and the thought of working for Department of Corrections was beyond my imagination. Enemy camp, you know, and not true. But, you know, it was just amazing to me that I came into this field and then met all of these incredible people doing the work of corrections. There was initially the small we of Linda Sorensen, Chris Baker, and myself with our mentor Betty Brown for many years. We were the beginning of victim services in corrections. This is a new field in 1999. All victim services was pre-conviction or not involving corrections at all. So this was a new adventure for us. This evolved into a whole group of dedicated and passionate victim impact facilitators. And we rocked and rolled for 15 years, I think, something like that. And they were my people because we were on the mission to bring the victim voice into corrections. And there were two very special people that have been mentioned already by Andrea, and that's Teresa and Dean Lindman, that gave me this incredible gift of being able to tell my story too, and to have that kind of interaction with inmates and feel like my story made a difference in those people's lives. Coming to central office took a while to create an us and a sense of there's a we here. But those early days, Candace Locker, myself, Sarah Harms, we were a dynamic threesome working at the state level, and then just collaborating with all the victim witness coordinators and victim service advocates around the state. Polk County Crisis and Advocacy being one huge one that continue to work with, and Sarah McMillan, the new director here. I'm really happy to see that. Fred Scaletta was my first supervisor at central office, and Fred trusted me to do what was needed. He never questioned my direction or what I thought needed to happen. And then Sally Kramer. She expanded the influence of this office beyond what I thought we would be able to do, because she encouraged leadership in me. She opened doors and encouraged me to become part of all the operations of corrections and saying, we need the victim voice here, we need it here, we need the victim perspective there. And so the we and the us now became my team at central office. It expanded out to my colleagues who are doing probation and parole, who are correctional counselors in the prisons, our victim offender dialogue facilitators that we have 5 of now. And of course, my collaboration consistently with Madison Albert as my cohort in all things. And building these relationships with wardens and district directors, I know they're called something else now, sorry, and treatment directors, and just knowing that when we show up at a prison, that the red carpet is out. What do you need? What do we need to do here to welcome victims into the system? How can we help you with what you need to do? So the victim lens isn't only held by me and Madison. Our us has really infiltrated all levels of corrections, and I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. So the true inspiration, though, of staying in this work is not just the wonderful work of colleagues. What truly has filled my cup has been the incredible survivors. I've had the privilege of meeting, working with them, being a small part of their healing journey, and that's not a bad way to spend 27 years, I'll tell you. So finally back to John and Kate Egan. They exemplified how a tragedy can be the fuel for change. They blazed a trail so that others of us can blaze a trail as well. And I'm humbled and very grateful to be added to the list of recipients for this award, so it means a great deal to me. Thank you very much.